Stop scrolling and listen to today's Arcturian Council message. Arcturian Council blocked an energy attack on you. Now what? Stop scrolling right now. What I am about to reveal could shift your entire perception of reality. The Arcturian Council has intercepted an energy attack specifically aimed at you. Whether you were aware of it or not, your personal energy field has been under subtle assault, not from visible sources, but from vibrations and frequencies you cannot sense consciously. This isn't mere speculation or mystical conjecture. This is a reality in higher dimensional interactions. Many people assume that only physical threats can harm them, but what happens in your energy field affects your emotional, mental, and even physical state far more than most realize. When these energy attacks are blocked, as the Council did for you, it creates a ripple effect throughout your consciousness, opening doors for insights and awakenings that were previously inaccessible. This is not just protection, it is a call to conscious awareness. Every thought, every emotion, every intention is like a tuning fork that resonates through your energetic blueprint. If negative vibrations are directed toward you and you are unaware, they can manifest as confusion, fear, sudden illness, or inexplicable setbacks. But when the Council intervenes, there is a pause, a suspension in the negative currents, creating a rare opportunity to redirect your life's energy. What you do next is crucial. You must consciously reclaim your power, align your focus, and recognize the patterns that allowed this attack to occur in the first place. Start asking yourself, what energies am I absorbing from my environment? Are there hidden influences around me that I've been ignoring? Awareness is the first step toward mastery of your field. Type "I claim this message" in the comments to receive the full guidance and protection activation from the Council. The energy that was blocked from reaching you was not random, it was precise and intentional. Some attacks are orchestrated by other humans who operate unconsciously, influenced by fear, jealousy, or unresolved trauma, while others stem from interdimensional sources seeking imbalance. The Arcturian Council monitors the higher frequency spectrum to identify these intrusions and neutralize them before they can fully penetrate your personal energy field. Imagine a wave of static electricity directed at your aura. It is invisible, yet its impact can create tension, disorientation, and subtle disruption in your daily life. When this is blocked, you might feel sudden clarity or an unusual sense of relief, even without knowing the exact source. But the question now is, what are you going to do with this rare reprieve? The Council emphasizes that protection alone is not enough. True empowerment comes from understanding the nature of the attack, recognizing vulnerabilities, and taking conscious steps to strengthen your energy signature. Begin by observing your thoughts and emotions more critically. What do you fear? What do you desire? Energy attacks often exploit unconscious patterns, and awareness is your first weapon against these intrusions. Consider this moment a wake-up call from the cosmos itself, a chance to reclaim sovereignty over your inner space and maintain it as a fortress. Type "I claim this message" now to integrate this protective energy fully into your daily life. What makes these attacks particularly insidious is their subtlety. Unlike a physical threat, you cannot point to them, nor can you always sense them directly. They often operate by amplifying your existing fears, insecurities, and self-doubts. You may suddenly feel inexplicably exhausted, irritable, or mentally foggy. These are classic signs of energetic interference, the kind that goes unnoticed for weeks or months until the damage is visible in your emotional or physical state. The Arcturian Council doesn't just block these intrusions, they provide a rare window to examine your energy infrastructure, highlighting areas where you may be inadvertently leaking power. It is not a matter of blame, it is an opportunity for empowerment. Every human has weak points in their energy field, often created by trauma, unresolved conflict, or self-limiting beliefs. By observing these points, you can strengthen your aura, raise your vibration, and prevent future attacks from gaining traction. Consider the symbolism. If a castle is surrounded by walls but the gates are left open, invaders can enter easily. The council is offering you the chance to close those gates, reinforce the walls, and become aware of the channels through which negativity flows. If you are ready to step into this level of conscious responsibility, the time to act is now. Type "I claim this message" to fully receive the Council's guidance and energy reinforcement. It's essential to understand that energy attacks are not always malicious in the human sense. They can be triggered by collective unconscious patterns, unresolved karmic loops, or even planetary energy shifts. In this way, the universe is constantly sending tests, signals, and adjustments to your energy body. Some of these forces are neutral, but when they intersect with personal vulnerabilities, they become harmful. The blocked attack on you might have been an interaction between multiple dimensions of consciousness, each seeking to influence your trajectory. This is why the Arcturian Council's intervention is so significant. It acts as both shield and teacher. By blocking the attack, the Council created an opportunity for introspection, growth, and realignment. What if this interruption was actually a message, a signal that it's time to examine the influences in your life, both seen and unseen? You are being asked to become aware of your vibrational state and its impact on your reality. Every thought you harbor, every emotion you amplify, contributes to either reinforcing your protection or creating new points of vulnerability. The Council wants you to actively participate in this energy refinement process, because protection alone is temporary without awareness and conscious action. Type "I claim this message" to claim your access to the Council's protective and activating energy. Many people underestimate the subtle but profound impact that energy intrusions can have on their day-to-day lives. A blocked attack might manifest as a sudden feeling of lightness or an inexplicable sense of safety. Others might experience intuitive nudges, sudden clarity, or bursts of creativity. These are not coincidences, they are signals from the higher realms that your energy field is now clear enough to receive higher frequency guidance. Think of it as a signal from your higher self that the path ahead is unobstructed, but only if you pay attention. Often, humans continue their routines, ignoring these cues, missing the chance for a shift in consciousness that could transform relationships, career paths, and personal growth. By consciously acknowledging these signs, you align yourself with a higher order of support, allowing subtle synchronicities and intuitive insights to guide your actions. This is the essence of the Arcturian Council's intervention, not just protection, but a deliberate invitation to participate in co-creation with the universe. Type "I claim this message" to fully open your awareness to the subtle guidance being offered. Here's something shocking: energy attacks often exploit the very things you love most. Your passions, relationships, and dreams create high-frequency fields that are naturally magnetic, but also visible targets for interference. The blocked attack may have been triggered by an unseen imbalance in these areas of your life. For example, a sudden conflict in a personal relationship, inexplicable procrastination on a dream project, or unexpected health disturbances might not be random. They could be reflections of subtle energetic disruption. The Council intervened to stop these influences from reaching a point of manifest damage, essentially giving you a do-over. But this is where your responsibility comes into play. You must now examine the areas of your life that attract excessive interference and learn to shield them consciously. Meditation, visualization, and energetic clearing practices can help, but awareness is the key. Imagine your life as a garden. Without proper attention, weeds, negative energy can take root even in the most fertile soil. The Council is offering you the rare gift of a cleared field. Don't waste it. Type "I claim this message" to activate full alignment with this protective intervention. The Arcturian Council also emphasizes the importance of timing. Energy attacks, like waves, occur at specific frequencies and alignments. Some people are more vulnerable at certain times during stress, emotional upheaval, or spiritual transition. The attack that was blocked on you could have coincided with a critical moment in your life path, one where the energy could have been diverted into fear, stagnation, or illness. This is why the intervention is not just a random act of protection, it is strategically aligned with your spiritual trajectory. By understanding the timing of these events, you can start noticing patterns in your life that were previously invisible. Perhaps you've experienced repeated challenges that seem coincidental, yet they align with energetic cycles designed to test your growth. Now that the Council has intervened, you have a chance to rewrite the script, to use this protected period to build resilience, align your frequency, and prepare for future expansions in consciousness. Type "I claim this message" to integrate this understanding into your daily awareness. One of the most misunderstood aspects of energy attacks is that they often involve projection of your own fears back onto you in amplified forms. In other words, what is attacking your energy field may actually be a reflection of unresolved aspects of your own psyche or shadow self. The blocked attack could have forced you to confront these internal projections prematurely, creating unnecessary emotional turbulence. By intervening, the Council not only shielded you from external influence but also provided a buffer for inner reflection. This is your chance to step back and examine your emotional reactions, recurring thoughts, and patterns of self-sabotage. Are there fears you have ignored, beliefs you have held that no longer serve you? Recognizing these internal triggers is key to preventing future attacks from having an impact. The intervention is both protective and instructional, guiding you toward mastery over your internal landscape as well as your external environment. Type "I claim this message" to fully access the Council's teachings on self-protection and internal awareness. It's time to acknowledge the cosmic scale of what just occurred. Most humans never realize the extent to which higher dimensional beings monitor, guide, and intervene in their lives. The blocked energy attack is proof that you are on the radar of interdimensional councils, that your life and energy hold significance far beyond the physical plane. This is both awe-inspiring and intimidating because it implies responsibility. If you are under such protective oversight, your actions and choices carry weight not only for your immediate reality but for the larger energetic ecosystems you inhabit. Every thought, intention, and action creates vibrations that resonate beyond your immediate awareness. When you recognize this, the energy attack that was blocked becomes not just a story of defense, but a call to alignment, purpose, and conscious co-creation with higher realms. Your life is more than a series of random events, it is an intricate dance with forces beyond ordinary perception. Type "I claim this message" to step into full consciousness of your interdimensional guidance. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand something that may unsettle you at first: protection is not permanent unless it is partnered with consciousness. The energy attack that was blocked did not disappear, it was redirected, dissolved, and neutralized through higher frequency intervention. But the conditions that allowed it to approach you still exist unless you address them. This is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to empower you. Many people assume that once they are protected, they can return to unconscious patterns, emotional reactivity, and energetic neglect. The Council says this is the greatest mistake. Energy seeks the path of least resistance. If your emotional field is cluttered with resentment, fear, or suppressed truth, it creates openings. Right now, those openings have been sealed temporarily. This pause is sacred. It is a rare moment where you can observe your life without immediate energetic interference. Pay attention to what feels heavy, draining, or misaligned. These sensations are not punishment, they are signals. If you respond consciously now, you dramatically reduce the likelihood of future intrusions. This is where true spiritual maturity begins, not in blind faith, but in awareness and responsibility. Type I claim this message to anchor this awareness into your energy field. Here is a shocking truth few are ready to hear: energy attacks are often drawn toward people who are evolving rapidly. If nothing had been blocked, it would have been easy to assume something was wrong with you. But in reality, it is often the opposite. Expansion creates light, and light attracts attention, both supportive and disruptive. The Arcturian Council confirms that your frequency has been shifting, whether you noticed it consciously or not. Growth destabilizes old structures, and during these transitional phases, interference becomes more likely. This is why the attack was timed the way it was. It targeted a moment of transformation. The Council stepped in because the interference would have slowed your momentum, anchoring you to outdated emotional patterns. Instead, you are now standing at a crossroads. One path leads back to unconscious repetition. The other leads forward into deliberate, embodied awareness. This moment asks you to choose. Growth is not passive, it is participatory. The protection you received is an invitation, not a guarantee. Type I claim this message to choose conscious evolution over unconscious repetition. You may begin noticing subtle changes after this intervention, shifts that feel small but are deeply significant. Perhaps you suddenly lose interest in conversations that once drained you. Perhaps your tolerance for dishonesty, including self-deception, decreases sharply. These are signs that your energy field is recalibrating. The Council explains that when an attack is blocked, the nervous system often relaxes for the first time in a long while. This relaxation allows suppressed awareness to surface. You may experience emotional releases, vivid dreams, or sudden realizations about people or situations you've been tolerating far too long. Do not dismiss these experiences. They are part of the recalibration process. Think of it as clearing static from a signal. You are finally receiving information clearly. This clarity may be uncomfortable at first because it removes illusions. But discomfort is not danger. It is adjustment. The more you allow these insights without resistance, the stronger and more coherent your energy field becomes. Type I claim this message to allow clarity without fear. The Arcturian Council is also drawing attention to something many people avoid: emotional boundaries. Energy attacks do not always come from distant or abstract sources. Often, they are reinforced through repeated emotional exposure, arguments, guilt cycles, manipulation, or chronic self-sacrifice. When you consistently override your intuition to keep the peace, you weaken your energetic perimeter. The blocked attack may have exploited exactly this pattern. This does not mean someone intended harm in a conscious way. Energy responds to dynamics, not moral labels. If your system is constantly giving more than it receives, imbalance forms, and imbalance attracts interference. The Council urges you to reassess where your energy is going. Who or what consistently leaves you depleted? Where are you saying yes when your body is saying no? These are not trivial questions, they are energetic diagnostics. Strengthening boundaries is not rejection, it is alignment. Type I claim this message to reclaim your energetic sovereignty. There is another layer to this message that may surprise you: gratitude strengthens protection. When the Council intervenes, acknowledgement matters. Not in a ritualistic sense, but vibrationally. Gratitude stabilizes high-frequency states, making your energy field less reactive and more coherent. When people dismiss protective moments as coincidence, the field destabilizes again quickly. Recognition anchors the shift. This is why you are being guided to consciously claim this message. Claiming is not about belief, it is about alignment. By acknowledging that support exists beyond your immediate perception, you open channels for continued assistance. You are not surrendering control, you are expanding your network of awareness. This cooperation between human consciousness and higher intelligence is how protection evolves into empowerment. Type I claim this message to anchor gratitude as a stabilizing force in your field. Now, here is where the message becomes confrontational in a constructive way. The council asks, are you willing to change, or do you only want protection without transformation? This question is uncomfortable because it exposes passive spirituality. Many people want shielding but resist self-examination. The blocked attack has created a silence, a pause in the noise. What you do with this silence determines everything. Will you fill it with distractions, or will you listen? Silence reveals patterns you've been avoiding, habits, relationships, internal narratives that no longer align with who you are becoming. If you ignore these revelations, protection weakens over time. If you respond to them, protection becomes integrated into your identity. This is the difference between being guarded and being grounded. Type I claim this message if you are ready to choose transformation over comfort. You may be wondering why this message feels so personal. That is because it is. Energy attacks are not broadcast randomly, they interact with individual frequency signatures. The fact that this intervention occurred means your energetic signature is distinct. You are not meant to blend into the background. The council notes that people with strong intuitive capacity often underestimate their influence on environments, on others, and on collective fields. This influence makes you noticeable in subtle realms. Awareness of this fact is not meant to inflate ego, it is meant to encourage responsibility. When you ground your awareness, regulate your emotions, and act with clarity, your field stabilizes not just you, but those around you. Type I claim this message to step into responsible awareness of your influence. Another critical insight: fear feeds interference. When fear dominates your internal dialogue, your field becomes fragmented. The blocked attack attempted to amplify existing anxieties, turning them into self-sustaining loops. The council neutralized that amplification, but fear patterns must still be addressed consciously. Ask yourself, what narratives do you replay when you are tired, stressed, or alone? These narratives are energetic scripts. Rewriting them is one of the most powerful forms of protection available to you. This does not require toxic positivity or denial, it requires honesty and gentleness. When fear is acknowledged rather than suppressed, its grip weakens. Type I claim this message to disengage from fear-based internal loops. The council also emphasizes the role of physical embodiment. Energy protection is not purely abstract, it is deeply connected to how you care for your body. Dehydration, sleep deprivation, and constant overstimulation thin the energetic field. The blocked attack exploited moments when your system was fatigued. This is not judgment, it is information. Treating your body with respect stabilizes your field faster than most techniques people chase. Rest is not laziness, it is energetic maintenance. When your body feels safe, your energy field becomes less penetrable. Type I claim this message to honor your body as part of your protection system. As we reach this point in the message, understand this clearly: the intervention was not the end, it was the beginning. The council does not intervene to keep you dependent, it intervenes to restore clarity so you can step forward independently. You are being prepared for greater stability, not greater fear. The question is no longer was I attacked, the question is who am I becoming now that I am aware. This awareness marks a threshold. What comes next depends on how consciously you walk forward from here. Type I claim this message to step fully into the next phase of your awareness. At this stage, the Arcturian Council urges you to slow down and observe rather than rush to interpret. After an energetic intervention, the mind often wants immediate explanations, labels, or reassurance. but clarity unfolds in layers. Right now, your awareness is being recalibrated, and subtle information is beginning to surface through intuition rather than logic. You may notice heightened sensitivity to environments, sounds, or even people's emotional states. This is not overstimulation, it is perception returning to its natural range after interference has been removed. The Council advises that this phase requires gentleness. Pushing yourself to figure it all out can create new turbulence. Instead, notice what draws your attention repeatedly. Patterns will reveal themselves without force. This is how higher guidance communicates, through repetition, resonance, and quiet persistence. Trust the pacing. Rushing integration weakens it. Type I claim this message to allow awareness to unfold naturally. One of the most underestimated effects of blocked energy attacks is emotional honesty. When interference is present, people often suppress emotions simply to function. Once the pressure is lifted, long-held feelings can rise unexpectedly. You might feel sadness without a clear reason, or anger that seems out of proportion to the present moment. This does not mean something is wrong. It means your system finally has the bandwidth to process what was postponed. The Council emphasizes that emotional release is not regression, it is completion. These emotions were stored, not resolved. Letting them surface now prevents them from being used as leverage in future energetic disruptions. Avoid judging yourself for what comes up. Judgment tightens the field again. Acceptance allows energy to move through instead of stagnating. Type I claim this message to permit emotional release without self-judgment. The Council now brings attention to your relationship with control. Energy attacks often exploit rigid control patterns, either the need to control everything or the belief that you control nothing. Both extremes weaken the field. The intervention you experienced was not meant to reinforce helplessness, nor was it meant to inflate a sense of invulnerability. It was meant to restore balance. True energetic strength comes from responsiveness, not domination. When you respond fluidly to circumstances rather than resisting or collapsing, your field adapts instead of fracturing. Notice where you grip too tightly or disengage completely. These tendencies are not flaws, they are habits formed under pressure. Now that pressure has eased, you have the chance to choose differently. Type I claim this message to restore balance between surrender and agency. As awareness deepens, you may begin to recognize how often you've been operating on autopilot. The Council explains that prolonged energetic interference dulls conscious choice, making life feel repetitive or numbing. With the attack blocked, choice returns. This can feel unsettling at first because responsibility increases alongside freedom. You may no longer be able to ignore misalignments you once tolerated. Jobs, routines, or relationships that felt fine may suddenly feel heavy. This is not disruption, it is discernment returning. Discernment is a sign of an intact energy field. It allows you to sense what supports your expansion and what drains it. Acting on discernment strengthens protection more than any external shield ever could. Type I claim this message to trust your returning discernment. Now listen carefully, because this is the part most people are not prepared to hear. The energy attack that was blocked was not the first one. It was the first one you were protected from consciously. Previous intrusions went unnoticed, blending into stress, doubt, and exhaustion you assumed were normal. This realization can be shocking, even unsettling. But it explains so much. The Council is not revealing this to create fear, it is revealing it to restore truth. You were never weak, you were uninformed. And now, you are no longer unaware. Awareness changes everything. From this point forward, interference will be easier to detect and less effective. But only if you stay present. This moment marks a turning point in how you experience reality. Type I claim this message to consciously close the door to unconscious interference. After this realization, many people experience a surge of empowerment followed by uncertainty. This is normal. When blind spots disappear, the mind briefly struggles to reorient. The Council advises grounding during this phase. Grounding is not spiritual detachment, it is engagement with the present moment. Simple actions like focused breathing, walking, or conscious hydration stabilize the field. Avoid obsessively scanning for threats. Hypervigilance creates the very instability interference feeds on. Instead, cultivate calm alertness. Calm is not passive, it is coherent. A coherent field resists disruption naturally. Type I claim this message to stabilize calm awareness. The Council now addresses a subtle but powerful factor: self-trust. Repeated interference erodes confidence in one's perceptions. You may have learned to doubt your instincts because they were often clouded. With the attack blocked, intuition begins to sharpen again. You may sense things before they happen or feel drawn away from situations without logical explanation. This is not imagination, it is recalibrated perception. Acting on small intuitive nudges rebuilds trust faster than waiting for certainty. Certainty is a mental construct, intuition operates in probabilities and timing. Trust grows through action, not overthinking. Type I claim this message to rebuild trust in your intuition. Another revelation: not everyone will understand the changes you are undergoing. As your field stabilizes, your tolerance for chaos decreases. Some people may interpret this as distance or withdrawal. The Council reassures you that alignment sometimes looks like separation. This does not require confrontation or explanation. Quiet realignment is often more powerful than dramatic declaration. Let actions speak. Energy recognizes energy. Those meant to remain connected will adjust. Those who do not may drift away naturally. This is not loss, it is reorganization. Type I claim this message to allow natural energetic realignment. The Council emphasizes that curiosity is now more useful than certainty. Instead of asking why did this happen to me, ask what is this teaching me about my energy. Curiosity keeps the field open and flexible. Certainty can harden it. You are entering a phase of learning how to maintain coherence without constant intervention. This is mastery, not abandonment. Support remains available, but your role becomes more active. This shift marks true growth. Type I claim this message to step into active mastery. As this segment of the message concludes, understand that you are no longer where you were when you began reading. Awareness has shifted, even subtly. The Council's role now transitions from protector to guide. What comes next will build on what you integrate, not what you fear. Your energy field is stabilizing, your perception sharpening, and your responsibility expanding. This is not a burden, it is a privilege. Type I claim this message to consciously move forward into the next phase. At this stage, the Arcturian Council draws your attention to the importance of energetic hygiene. Just as your physical body requires cleansing, nourishment, and rest, your energy field must be maintained with intention and regular practice. Many humans unknowingly accumulate residual energy from unresolved emotional patterns, environmental stress, or interactions with others whose vibration is incompatible with their own. These accumulations create subtle clutter in the energy body, reducing clarity, sensitivity, and resilience. The blocked attack that you experienced was able to approach your field because of minor vulnerabilities created by this residual energy. Now that intervention has occurred, you are presented with an opportunity to cultivate a system of energy hygiene that strengthens your field permanently. This includes regular practices such as grounding, visualizing protective light, consciously releasing stagnant emotions, and engaging in mindful movement. The Council emphasizes that these practices do not merely prevent attacks, they elevate your consciousness, aligning you with higher frequencies that magnetically attract support, guidance, and synchronicity. Consider your energy like a sacred space. Clutter diminishes its beauty and functionality, while attention, care, and awareness amplify its power exponentially. By dedicating even a few minutes each day to energetic maintenance, you strengthen not only your personal protection but also your ability to perceive higher dimensional guidance and opportunities. Every act of conscious attention creates ripple effects that enhance clarity, intuition, and resonance across your life. Your energy is a living system, responsive to your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Now, imagine integrating a disciplined energetic routine into your daily life, reinforcing your aura like fortifying walls of light. This is the next step in reclaiming sovereignty over your inner domain. Type "I claim this message" to activate a full, permanent energetic cleansing and protection system. The Council now asks you to examine relationships in your life, especially those that repeatedly trigger imbalance. Energetic attacks often find their way through relationships that are out of alignment, whether familial, professional, or intimate. Not all conflict is inherently negative, but repeated emotional drains indicate points of vulnerability where your field is being influenced externally. The intervention blocked an attack precisely at a moment when your relationships were amplifying certain vulnerabilities, showing that even seemingly mundane connections can become vectors for subtle interference. The Arcturian Council emphasizes that this is not about blame, it is about awareness and choice. You are now in a unique position to assess which connections nurture your growth and which silently deplete your energy. Start by observing interactions that leave you feeling disoriented, resentful, or unusually fatigued. These are indicators of energetic misalignment, not moral judgment. As you become conscious of these patterns, the Council advises implementing energetic boundaries, not as acts of separation out of fear, but as conscious recalibration to preserve your vibrational integrity. When energy flows freely and intentionally, your field becomes resilient, less penetrable by attacks, and more capable of receiving higher frequency support. Every time you consciously decide to realign your relational energy, you strengthen your sovereignty and deepen your connection to higher dimensional guidance. Relationships are mirrors, they reflect your internal state, amplify unresolved patterns, and sometimes attract interference. By reclaiming control over your relational energy, you take responsibility for both your protection and your expansion. Type "I claim this message" to realign all relationships for energetic clarity and personal sovereignty. The blocked attack has also highlighted the importance of daily vibrational alignment. Most humans are unaware that their energy fluctuates dramatically based on routines, thoughts, and habits. Some moments are inherently high frequency, filled with creativity, presence, and joy, while others are low frequency, dominated by stress, distraction, or habitual negativity. The attack was designed to exploit your lower frequency periods, creating a vulnerability where it could amplify fear, doubt, or indecision. The Arcturian Council emphasizes that the best defense against future interference is proactive vibrational management. This involves cultivating awareness of your energy throughout the day, intentionally raising your frequency through practices such as meditation, deep breathing, movement, visualization, or immersion in nature. Consistency is key. Even brief, repeated efforts maintain a field that is coherent and resilient. When your energy is consistently elevated, attacks lose their power because interference cannot resonate with high-frequency states. The Council also notes that positive vibrations attract supportive energies, amplifying synchronicities and intuitive guidance that may otherwise go unnoticed. Consider your field like a musical instrument. When it is tuned, harmony flows effortlessly. When it is neglected, dissonance dominates. By tuning your energy consistently, you are creating a self-sustaining shield that simultaneously empowers your consciousness and deepens your connection to higher dimensional guidance. This is the hidden work of mastery, not waiting for protection, but building it from the inside out. Type I claim this message to activate permanent vibrational alignment in your life. A less obvious but critical aspect revealed by the council is your relationship with fear and uncertainty. Many humans unknowingly feed interference through internal loops of anxiety, doubt, or catastrophic thinking. Even small moments of worry generate energetic openings that can be exploited by low-frequency influences. The blocked attack you experienced may have taken advantage of these subtle loops, but now that the council has intervened, you have a unique opportunity to break the cycle permanently. Begin by observing how often fear drives your decisions, speech, or attention. Notice patterns where you replay what-if scenarios that serve no constructive purpose. Awareness alone begins to weaken the energetic charge of fear. Next, practice conscious replacement. Redirect attention toward clarity, problem solving, or neutral observation. This is not about forced positivity, it is about reclaiming choice over your energy. When fear is recognized and consciously managed, it loses its leverage. Over time, this practice strengthens your field to the point where external interference finds no resonance at all. The council emphasizes that this is a skill, not a one-time fix. With consistent practice, your energy becomes a coherent, resilient network that is inherently aligned with your highest interests. Type I claim this message to reclaim full control over your fear and uncertainty. Finally, the Arcturian Council draws attention to your spiritual timing. The blocked attack was not random, it occurred at a pivotal moment in your growth cycle. Energy attacks often target transitions, periods of awakening, or moments when expansion is imminent. Your field is currently in flux, making this a critical window for conscious alignment. The intervention created a pause, a moment where external disruption has been suspended so that internal adjustment can occur. You are being asked to use this pause intentionally, reflecting on your goals, priorities, and alignment with higher purpose. Every action, thought, and choice during this period carries amplified significance. The Council warns against rushing this phase or filling it with distraction. Instead, engage fully with reflection, intention setting, and energetic tuning. Recognize patterns in your life, release what no longer serves your expansion, and integrate insights into daily practice. The more conscious your integration, the more permanent the protection and alignment will become. This is a rare moment in which cosmic timing and higher dimensional intervention intersect, giving you the tools to establish long-term energetic sovereignty. Type I claim this message to step fully into alignment with your highest path and energetic protection. The Arcturian Council now turns your attention toward long-term energetic sustainability. Protection that relies only on external intervention is temporary, but protection built through coherence becomes self-regulating. This is the stage where many individuals unconsciously revert to old habits, assuming the danger has passed. The Council warns that this is when subtle erosion can occur, not through direct attack, but through neglect. Your energy field responds dynamically to consistency. When you maintain awareness, grounding, and emotional regulation over time, your field naturally repels interference without effort. Think of it as structural integrity rather than constant defense. Structural integrity is built slowly through repeated, aligned choices. Each time you choose rest over burnout, truth over appeasement, presence over distraction, you reinforce this structure. Over time, your field becomes less reactive and more adaptive, capable of absorbing stress without fracturing. This resilience is what the Council refers to as energetic maturity. It does not require perfection, only commitment. Even when you falter, returning to awareness strengthens the system further. Protection then becomes an extension of who you are, not something you seek. Type I claim this message to commit to long-term energetic integrity. At this point, you may notice a subtle shift in how challenges present themselves. Rather than feeling overwhelming or chaotic, difficulties may now appear as clearly defined problems with identifiable solutions. This is a sign that your energy field is reorganizing around clarity rather than reaction. The Council explains that when interference is minimized, life does not become effortless but it becomes intelligible. You begin to see cause and effect more clearly, allowing you to respond instead of panic. This clarity can feel almost unsettling at first, because chaos once provided distraction from responsibility. Now, you are able to see where change is required. This does not mean you must act immediately. Discernment includes timing. The important shift is that you are no longer blind. With this clarity comes agency. You are better equipped to choose when to engage, when to rest, and when to redirect energy entirely. The Council emphasizes that clarity is not a burden, it is a stabilizer. It conserves energy by eliminating unnecessary struggle. Type I claim this message to stabilize clarity in all areas of life. The Council also highlights the role of intention in maintaining energetic alignment. Intention is not wishful thinking, it is directional focus. When your intentions are scattered or contradictory, your energy field becomes diffuse. This diffusion weakens coherence and increases susceptibility to disruption. The blocked attack interacted with moments where your intentions were unclear or conflicted. Now, you are being guided to simplify. What truly matters to you? Where do you want your energy to flow consistently? Clear intention acts like a compass, orienting your field even when circumstances are unpredictable. The Council advises revisiting your intentions regularly, not to control outcomes, but to reaffirm direction. When intention and action align, energy consolidates instead of dispersing. This consolidation strengthens your field naturally. Over time, you may notice that fewer things provoke strong reactions. This is not numbness, it is alignment. Your energy knows where it belongs. Type I claim this message to consolidate your energy through clear intention. Another crucial aspect of integration involves patience. After significant energetic shifts, the mind often expects immediate transformation. The Council cautions against this expectation. Integration occurs in waves, not leaps. Some days will feel expansive, others neutral, and some may feel unexpectedly heavy. These fluctuations do not indicate failure. They indicate recalibration. Your system is learning to operate without constant interference, which requires adjustment. Patience allows these adjustments to settle without resistance. Resistance creates friction, patience allows flow. The Council encourages you to observe progress over weeks rather than moments. Small changes compound. Improved sleep, clearer communication, steadier emotions, these are markers of deep alignment. Trust the process. Nothing is being lost, everything is being reorganized. Type I claim this message to allow integration without impatience. As this phase of the message concludes, the Council offers reassurance rather than instruction. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are recalibrating. The blocked energy attack was a disruption, but it also revealed strength, resilience, and capacity you may not have recognized before. From this point forward, your awareness is sharper, your field more coherent, and your role more active. Protection now operates through understanding rather than reaction. This is the foundation for what comes next: a deeper phase of alignment, influence, and conscious participation in your reality. You are no longer moving blindly. You are moving deliberately. Type "I claim this message" to affirm your readiness for what lies ahead. The Arcturian Council now speaks about future perception, how your awareness will operate going forward. After an energetic interruption and subsequent stabilization, perception no longer functions the same way. You may find that you sense shifts before they fully materialize. Situations that once surprised you may now feel predictable, not because you are controlling outcomes, but because your field is reading subtle signals earlier. This is not foresight in a dramatic sense, it is coherence. When your energy is stable, it picks up information that was previously drowned out by noise. This heightened perception can feel unfamiliar at first, even isolating, because others may not notice what you do. The Council advises restraint rather than urgency. You are not required to warn, fix, or intervene unless directly guided. Discernment includes knowing when not to act. Overuse of perception leads to exhaustion. Selective engagement preserves strength. This phase teaches you how to witness without absorbing. Mastery lies not in constant action, but in calibrated response. Type "I claim this message" to stabilize higher perception without overload. Another significant shift you may notice is a change in how time feels. The Council explains that energetic interference fragments time perception, making life feel rushed, pressured, or stagnant. With interference reduced, time begins to feel more spacious. Moments stretch. Decisions feel less urgent. This does not mean responsibilities disappear, it means you are no longer reacting from compression. When time perception stabilizes, stress loses much of its grip. You become more efficient without trying harder. This efficiency is not productivity, it is alignment. You do what matters and release what does not. The Council notes that people often mistake urgency for importance. As your field stabilizes, this confusion dissolves. You begin to sense the natural rhythm of events rather than forcing outcomes. This rhythm protects your energy better than resistance ever could. Type "I claim this message" to align with natural timing and rhythm. The Council now addresses a subtle but powerful responsibility: influence. As your energy field becomes more coherent, its impact on others increases even without intention. People may feel calmer around you, or conversely, unsettled if they resist alignment. This is not something to manage or correct. Influence is a byproduct of coherence, not authority. The Council cautions against identifying with this influence. Ego attachment fractures coherence faster than fear. Instead, remain neutral and grounded. Let your presence speak without explanation. When you do speak, choose precision over volume. Your words will carry more weight than before. Silence will too. This phase teaches ethical restraint, the understanding that not everything sensed must be shared, and not every reaction deserves engagement. Influence tempered by humility becomes stabilizing rather than disruptive. Type "I claim this message" to hold influence with neutrality and integrity. As you integrate further, you may feel a growing intolerance for performative behavior both in yourself and others. The Council explains that energetic coherence strips away excess. Pretending, posturing, and over-explanation begin to feel physically uncomfortable. This is not judgment, it is feedback from a refined field. You may simplify how you speak, dress, or structure your days. These simplifications are not losses, they are efficiencies. When excess drops away, energy consolidates. Consolidation strengthens presence and reduces susceptibility to disruption. This is why many advanced stages of alignment look quiet from the outside. There is less noise, fewer dramatic swings, more consistency. Consistency is not stagnation, it is stability. Type I claim this message to release excess and stabilize simplicity. The Council concludes the segment with a final reminder before the message completes: awareness is now your primary protection. Not vigilance, not fear, not dependence. Awareness. Awareness allows you to notice shifts early, respond proportionally, and remain grounded even when conditions change. The blocked energy attack was a catalyst, not a warning of ongoing danger. It redirected you toward conscious participation in your own energetic maintenance. From here, your path is not about avoiding interference, but about remaining coherent regardless of conditions. This is the threshold between reaction and authorship. You are no longer merely experiencing reality, you are engaging with it deliberately. Type I claim this message to affirm awareness as your primary shield. The Arcturian Council now brings your attention to the idea of authorship. When awareness stabilizes, life no longer feels like something that happens to you, it becomes something you participate in consciously. This shift is subtle but profound. You may notice that you respond to challenges with less emotional charge and more clarity. This is not detachment, it is discernment. Discernment allows you to choose responses that preserve energy rather than drain it. The blocked attack served as a reminder that unconscious living leaves gaps, while conscious authorship seals them. From this point forward, you are being invited to narrate your experience with intention. What story are you reinforcing through your reactions? What future are you feeding through repeated focus? These questions are not abstract, they directly influence energetic stability. When your actions align with conscious authorship, interference has nothing to attach to. Type I claim this message to step fully into authorship of your reality. The Council emphasizes that integration does not mean isolation. As your field stabilizes, you may feel less compelled to seek validation or agreement. This does not mean withdrawing from others, it means relating without dependency. Interactions become cleaner, more honest, and less emotionally charged. You may notice that some conversations naturally shorten, while others deepen unexpectedly. This is energetic sorting, not loss. When dependency dissolves, connection becomes voluntary rather than necessary. Voluntary connection is resilient, it does not fracture under pressure. This shift strengthens your field because it removes the push-pull dynamics that interference often exploits. Relationships that remain will feel lighter, more reciprocal, and more grounded in presence rather than obligation. Type I claim this message to allow relationships to evolve without force. As the message nears completion, the Council asks you to reflect on one final truth: nothing was taken from you during the attack. Only distortion was removed. What remains is what was always yours: clarity, agency, and resilience. Sometimes humans mistake struggle for identity, believing that tension is proof of meaning. When tension fades, they fear emptiness. But what follows is not emptiness, it is space. Space for choice. Space for rest. Space for deliberate creation. This space may feel unfamiliar, but it is fertile. What you place into it now matters. Attention is the currency of creation. Where you direct it determines what grows. Type I claim this message to use this space consciously. The Council now offers a quiet reassurance rather than instruction. You do not need to constantly monitor yourself. Obsession weakens coherence. Trust what has stabilized. Trust your capacity to notice when something is off and respond accordingly. This trust reduces internal noise, which is one of the strongest forms of protection. When the mind is calm, the field is unified. When the field is unified, interference dissolves on contact. You are not required to be vigilant, you are required to be present. Presence is enough. Type I claim this message to rest in grounded trust. This message concludes not with urgency, but with recognition. You received this message because your awareness was ready to receive it. The blocked energy attack was not a threat, it was a signal that your field is evolving. From here forward, protection is no longer something that happens around you, it is something that operates through you. Awareness, coherence, and deliberate choice are now active components of your daily experience. Nothing more is required in this moment. Simply continue with presence. Type I claim this message to seal and integrate the Arcturian Council's guidance completely.